On the question of the private sector, you mentioned there is this like growth of the startup trying to create a new business model. So I have a multiple fold question. One is, are there also non-African players that are interested in those markets and I'm trying to come because I see for instance, in Asia, I worked a long time in Vietnam. There is all the same ecosystem of those players trying to bring those batteries into the taxi, the two-wheelers and three-wheelers. So are there also the players who come? And my second question is there any program that the UNEP or you do to try to bringing some financing along the private investors to put those business model into play, because maybe they need a bit of support at the beginning to make that business model happen?
Yeah, no, for sure. So on the one hand, we also, for example, work with Asian vehicle suppliers, like that have already, in India, electric two-wheelers is already almost mainstream, right? So what we, for example, try to do is get some of these vehicles from some of these OEMs that are in India to, well, we have a pilot, for example, in Kenya, Uganda, we're doing one now in Tanzania, in Rwanda, to get them here, see how they work under local conditions, right? Because they're a bit different, the different climate zones, maybe more, the topography can be different, flooding, whatever, maintenance. So we try how they work here and then see what can be adapted. So like we document the lessons learned, do some data collection, and then this will all be open for then also for the local startups to take on, which are at the same time also not trying out their different vehicles, right? So I think it's definitely a collaboration, because then also you don't need only the vehicles, but then maybe the vehicle comes from India, but then the charging infrastructure can be developed locally. So it's really trying also to get a lot of local value chain, because for example, in Kenya, actually, if the vehicle is imported, built up, there's a high taxes, but if it's being assembled locally, the taxes can be zero. So there's a very high incentive to build up local assembly capacity. Even for electric buses, this is being in discussion for many of these countries. That's on the one hand. And actually also we have a project with the European Commission on transferring European technologies to the continents, where companies such as ABB, for example, work on deploying their chargers in e-bus project in the Seychelles, as an example, and see how this can be then be a transfer of knowledge. So that's on the vehicle side.